Welcome on into another video. I'm at the Saigon, Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam War Remnants Museum, where we're taking a look at some of the Vietnam era war memorabilia, some of the horrific scenes and prisoner cages, some of the ordnance used in battle during the Vietnam conflict between the United States and North Vietnamese forces. If you've seen any Vietnam War movies, even Forrest Gump, you know about the Huey helicopter. Mounted with a minigun, this thing would be flying over to evacuate and drop off troops. Also, it's equipped with a missile launcher, which you can see right here on both sides. And this is really one of the most iconic helicopters that you've probably seen many times in movies. It looks like the effective time in action was only 1 hour and 45 minutes before this thing needed to refuel. So here we're taking a look at the A-1 Sky Raider, which was a fighter and a bomber combo plane. So it'd be carrying 20mm cannons, firing crazy ammunition to take down other fighter planes, and also dropping bombs. And it is pretty freaking massive. Looks like we have a spy plane over here. And nowadays, of course, we're using all kinds of little drones and unmanned aircraft, but this is actually not even a spy plane. It's also another fighter/bomber manufactured by the Cessna Aircraft Company, effectively used to bomb ground targets from the sea and escorting aircraft. Another super iconic chopper used in Vietnam was the Chinook helicopter. This thing just carried a bunch of troops right into combat, and they'd be able to drop the troops out right out the back here, or even carry probably small tanks and light vehicles to drop them off into the heat of combat. You got some more tanks here with some seemingly thick armor, but it actually doesn't even seem that thick, and you can even see we have a bullet hole right here. I'm sure that turret has a lot thicker armor on it. Then we come over to this beast, and let's check this armor out. Oh, okay. Also not that thick there, but that turret looks very strong. Check this out. That's not that thick, honestly. Let's see how the hole is. Oh yeah, that's the solid part for sure right there. Wow, and you just take a look at that turret, and that is going crazy. Looks like we got the Chinook rotor hanging right off the turret on this tank here. Coming back around, taking a look at some other vehicles used. This little tank here is equipped with a flamethrower, probably used to clear out some jungle vegetation for the troops to move in, or even used to clear out some North Vietnamese from their foxholes and bunkers. Probably one of the biggest guns I've seen, a 175mm gun. This turret is freaking massive. We have some mortars, some anti-aircraft machine guns right here. Over here we have another tank turret. And yeah, that is extremely hefty steel right there, unlike other parts of that tank I was feeling. Looks like we have one of the boats that was probably used to go through the Mekong Delta here and clear out fighters from the shorelines. We got a M60 mounted on top. Beautiful Vietnam era machine gun. The size of these shackles here, I couldn't even fit my wrists in there. I don't even know who those are for. So this is taking a look at a lot of the prisoners, and I'm gonna cease talking here for respect, and since there's a lot of people in here. Some batons that were used to strike prisoners. Sunbathing rooms were used to leave prisoners outside during extreme weather conditions, whether being hot or cold, and they were forced to strip naked and endure that pain out there. You can see how these prisoners were sitting in their cells, shackled to the bed. Come in here and you'll see one of the crazy, almost medieval torture devices, the guillotine, that was still used only 60 years ago. Just imagine that. And you have this super heavy blade coming down. It's about 50 pounds of a blade off of the head right into the bucket there. Pretty freaking brutal. So this is kind of showing all the different countries and where they were at during the Vietnam War and how they were going up against this crazy time in the world. You'll see in Europe even there were protesters saying stop death in Vietnam. You know, this war was fought for a pretty crazy reason, and the US were in there fighting in other countries' foreign affairs to take out the communists, and a lot of people were protesting that, saying the US needs to be out of Southeast Asia now. Taking a look at some of the weapons used. Good old bazooka, 90mm bazooka here. We got another bazooka. We have the 50 caliber machine gun here. More grenade launchers. The AR-15s, look like they had some small ones, the commando versions, the small AR-15s. Full-size classic AR-15s here. And they have the like World War II era grease gun, it looks like. Super brutal images. This guy got hit by a grenade launcher. Soldiers being dragged to their deaths on the back of tanks. Some mortar shells. Kinds of different guns. They even have the Uzi. Also, they have some other World War II guns used here. The M1 Garand. They have Thompsons. Wild. Literally have a nail bomb here. Some frag grenade remnants. Got some BARs. Some US combat helmets. Different pieces of photo artwork.